Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this has been your True Nerd, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2, where you join me in, interesting times, as the Empire of Cornwall is starting to grow, it's starting to become significant. You can zoom right out in the world, and actually, though it's a little bit like, you know, feeling like it's stuck on the edge of England and stuck off the edge of France, it's a bit of an all-over-the-place empire. It's not tiny. It's not nothing. It has become a significant world player and a decent military force to be reckoned with, yeah, 7,500 troops available right now, and recharge a little bit, that will go up further, because, yeah, we can get that up to a good 8,000 or 9,000 yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Cornwall is looking very, very good indeed, and, more importantly, we are making friends. We are allied with the Holy Roman Empire. We are in a position to be allied with France because we are getting ready to potentially marry the next king of France. We have got a puppet king on the throne of Scotland whose children happen to belong to my dynasty. It has happened. We have got children coming, admittedly. The child has great pox, which is not great, but even if the child dies, that's fine. There's like other children. See, there's another child right here who's probably also going to be just as good. So, if these children turn out okay, bear in mind, at any point of my choosing, I could basically just nominate them as my heirs. And at that point, Scotland and Cornwall and Brittany would all move under my banner. It's a little bit of a risk for now because these children are, you know, literally babies. I don't know anything about them. They might not survive long enough to make it to adulthood. They might be just terrible. I don't think it's worth rushing to try and integrate Scotland if the cost is having a terrible, terrible king who might cause trouble somewhere else. Still, it's worth keeping in mind. The trap has successfully been laid. Scotland could be brought into the Empire. All I need to do is nominate one of those children as my heir, and that will be absolutely beautiful. Though admittedly, it might be a bit difficult to do here. Yeah, if I want to do that in Cornwall, that might actually be tricky. Because, well, let's assume for the sake of argument that Connor's going to vote for himself and Priam's going to vote for his own son. If I then just vote for the baby up in Scotland, that's one vote in every direction and I get the decider, so that's okay. But there is one other thing I've been considering as well, which is, I was looking over the succession laws, elective monarchy. So the fun thing about elective monarchy is the ruler and each lower rank vassal, i.e. the dukes if the ruler is a king, can nominate a successor from among themselves. So right now, I get a vote, so do the dukes, and so do the vassals, which is why we've got a bit of a problem with the vassals. If I switched over to elective monarchy, effectively it would be back to me having the only vote, though it does say that the vassals won't be thrilled if the liege personally holds too many elect titles, so I might need to distribute just a couple to keep everybody nice and calm. But it's worth considering. If I start losing control of the tanistry and the votes go in stupid directions and people start voting to just fling it over to an old guy on the far side of the dynasty, just basically for its own sake, then yeah, I could just move over to elective monarchy. That wouldn't actually stop the empire splitting apart potentially, because yeah, Brittany and Cornwall could vote different ways, but it would make it easier for me to keep control of the votes. The alternative is primogeniture, because at that point, the oldest child just gets everything. It is nice and secure, and everyone knows who's going to be king, and everything's lovely, but it does raise the problem of what happens if your sons just turn out to be terrible, and you might be much happier with someone from a different part of the dynasty being the king. So, yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Obviously, I don't want Gavelkind. Gavelkind seems like a terrible idea. That's just asking for your empire to fall apart. Seniority doesn't seem great either. And ultimogeniture, where basically it's the youngest child that inherits, that doesn't seem useful. Because, yeah, the youngest child has the greatest chance of not yet being a grown-up. So there's a real risk you might end up with a baby on the throne, which is not a good idea. But primogeniture or elective monarchy, both of these are options to keep in mind, but we don't need to worry about that just yet. Instead, we need to have a think about England and how we trash England. Because I wouldn't mind trashing England. Because England is looking, well, England's recovering pretty nicely. Though England's in a really weird situation right now where, yeah, their king can only actually field 1,000 troops. The remaining 10,000, he's depending on his vassals, and his retinues are absolutely flipping tiny as well. So, he's pretty much dependent on everyone else providing the troops for him. Presumably meaning he's in a weak position with his own council. Though his vassals seem to flipping love him, despite the fact he has just basically lost a war against Cornwall, which you think would be kind of embarrassing. But no, they all seem totally fine with him, as it turns out. So here's the thing, give it 9 or 10 years, I can declare war against him again. So I could just use that to just slowly pick off the Welsh territories, one every 10 years. Except maybe we can do better than that. So we placed a puppet king on the throne of Scotland. With the help of the Holy Roman Empire, could I do the same thing with England? So, hang on here. Liege, Kingdom of England, show me the claimants. We do have one guy who'd be willing to come to my court, but, unfortunately, it's a guy and he's 50. And also he's a lunatic and also he has great pox, so that one's not going to work out for me, unfortunately. But keep an eye on the claimants of the Kingdom of England, because if someone happens to show up who's been dethroned or rethroned or a neglected child or a bastard or whatever, then there's a possibility that at some point someone might just show up who I can lure to my court, get married into my dynasty, start producing some appropriate children. Yeah, this could potentially make sense. I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible thing to bring this guy in and then just marry him via matrilineal to someone in my faction, but given he's 50 and dying of smallpox, doesn't seem like a great idea. I feel like that just wouldn't work out. The alternative is just picking off bits of England, like, yeah, trying to pick off Wessex or the unpronounceable duchy over here. But if I do that, England basically gains a permanent de jure right to declare war against me, so I'm putting myself constantly at risk of being attacked by England. But if I actually pick off one of their entire duchies, there is the advantage there at the bare minimum, that is less vassals for the King of England to call upon. He's entirely dependent on his vassals for everything. So, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tick on. The situation around the world could be radically different in 10 years. So, let's get time ticking along here, because one thing I do want to do is, over in the society, is I can actually make my children horoscopes, but to do that I'm going to need quite a bit of knowledge. So I need to store up some of that, maybe go on a little mission for the actual society. And one other thing, I followed some advice in the comments that suggested, yeah, in the base game, or rather, the version of the game that I was playing up to this point, the only way you can actually have an empire is if it's a de jure empire. You can't just, like, create your own empire. So I decided to go and install Charlemagne, because that lets you actually create a new empire. So this would be an alternative solution to my problem of, at some point, my kingdoms might all go in different directions. I don't care if they go in different directions, as long as they all stay under my empire, because the king will still be reporting in to me. That will all be absolutely flipping fine. So yeah, what I need to do is have ridiculously high prestige, and also my realm size needs to be 180. That's not 180 like counties, that's 180 like holdings, where each of like your territories might contain multiple holdings. Like this is, I think, 3 different holdings. So I'm already on 36 holdings. So even with my already quite modest empire, I've got 36. So I'm already like a fifth, a sixth of the way there, which is not so bad at all. Other than that, hold 3 kingdom titles, which in all fairness, I'm pretty much in the perfect spot to do, because I'm right by some of the smallest kingdoms in the world. So I could actually have, yeah, Brittany down here, Wales. If I take over Scotland, a fair bit of Ireland, and maybe just snipe off a bit of England, I could create the Empire of Cornwall, a grand Celtic empire that then basically just slowly eats England. And that would be fun. Though the downside, of course, of creating a new empire that's not a de jure empire is, if, for example, I manage to grab enough of Britain that I can actually create Britannia, then as a result, I'd basically have a permanent de jure claim to just slowly snipe off the rest of England, or whatever was left. So at that point, that'd be quite useful. But if I create a new empire, then the empire doesn't actually have any form of de jure holdings aside from the kingdoms you used to create it. So actually, I wonder if you actually hold enough of England that England was one of the 3 kingdoms and you made the empire out of that, therefore the rest of England was de jure part of your new empire. That I don't know. I might need to look into that, but that's a long way off. Let's not focus on that straight away, but it's a goal, isn't it? It's a goal. If I could just get enough of Ireland and Scotland, I might be able to form a grand Celtic empire that could actually kick the Anglo-Saxons out of England once and for all. Wouldn't that be lovely? Also, I was just doing a quick check over the dynasty, and I have actually realised something a little bit sad, which is the line of John within the dynasty has actually come to an end. It's actually just sort of, accidentally ended. So, his eldest, Orange, was obviously married off into the House of Wessex, so her 3 sons are not of this dynasty. Johnson died as a sickly infant, and Clarence died of smallpox. Clarence II has naffed off to join a holy order, and thus has become celibate. I think... Did Clarence II ever actually have a wife? I don't know whether he did or not. I mean, it's not saying he did, so I'm guessing he didn't. I guess he just never did. And Luna, of course, was married off to Scotland, and thus had 4 children. Well, actually, had 3 children who were part of the House of Scotland, and 1 child who I assume was, yes, a bastard. So nice little kind of, yeah, cut rope there. Marvellous. And also a hunchback bastard. Marvellous. But yeah, the bigger issue is, as a result of that, there's no one left in John's actual line to have any more children within the dynasty. So that's it. John the Fat, our greatest king, though Iliad is giving him a run for his money, it cannot be denied. But King John the Fat, his line seems to have pretty much come to an end. Meanwhile, yeah, over here, actually, Maradud's line is doing much better. Maradud's revenge from beyond the grave. Wait a minute, I've just realised there's one chance. One flipping chance to save John's line. All I need to do is remarry one of the descendants of Orange or Luna back into the family. Now, that might be a little bit on the tricky side, because unfortunately, well, obviously, the daughters I marry away all go on to produce nothing but a line of bloody sons. Obviously, the women I bloody keep around here produce, it's daughters, daughters, daughters. But no, 3 sons, then 4 sons, screw you. But, if I could just get one of these children back, and then all I need to do is, yeah, marry them via a matrilineal marriage back into my family, the line of John shall continue. Now, the problem is, plenty of these guys are... I was about to say, why are you not married? Because you've gone and joined the Holy Order as well. Wow, 2 of you did, in fact. Alright, and Brian, married, betrothed. The bastard. The bastard son of Luna, whose father is the Duke of Albany. Now, technically, sure, he's a bastard insofar as he's not the actual child of her husband, but he is most definitely the grandson of John, because there's no question that Luna was his mother. Luna was his mother. So, sure, he may be a bastard in some ways, and he may also be a hunchback. A lazy hunchback bastard. But he's literally the only way that the line of John can continue. Right, let's get him in the family then. How old are you right now, son? You're 12. Right, let's figure out a betrothal. I'm so sorry to whoever this is. Oh, there's a new useless. There's a new useless. That's interesting. And yeah, we've obviously got to matrilineally marry this guy. And it's got to be someone who's part of my dynasty so that their children do end up properly dynastyized. Now, Useless the Second, and... Sorry, you wouldn't say that. She's unimportant. Oh, I'm sorry, she's unimportant. So unimportant that your hunchback bastard couldn't marry her. Oh, this is a disaster. My attempt to salvage John's line might not actually be possible, because none of these people produced bastard daughters. And I don't think any of them will be able to either. Wait, hang on. Does any of you go on to have children? Well, then the line will be interrupted. The line will be interrupted, and that would be annoying, because sure, I might be able to marry some of these children back into the family, if any of them have children, but I'm guessing they wouldn't actually appear in the same... Or maybe they'd appear in the same spot. I don't know. Right. We need to keep an eye on this guy. The hunchback bastard must be married back into my faction. Somehow. You know, if I needed some more children who were technically, yeah, a bit more important than just randoms, I could in a few years move King Iliad over to seduction focus and just see if I can get out a couple of bastards, then legitimize them at birth. That's possible. If I just move him, yeah, okay. Keep that in mind. So, in 1151, the fun might be about to begin, Iliad. Your reign literally began with you trying and failing to seduce one of the ladies of the court. So, you know what? Could be time for things to go full circle. Let's get time moving along here, because it's all very well having these plans, but potentially it's all going to go wrong. Oh, that's just a marriage I arranged. I'm just kind of doing a bit more stuff off screen to keep this thing moving along now. So, because I've got such a large dynasty, I'm just arranging little marriages that don't actually have direct political consequences off screen. So, for example, this is just Bernard MacLeod, and he's just been married off to this woman, but now it comes up, I can't remember why. Possibly I misclicked on the wrong woman, because she doesn't seem that good. Oh, and a bit of fun for England. There is an Essex revolt going on here, so yeah, if the king once upon a time had more than one actual thing in his domain, he doesn't anymore. Now the king is back down to a single territory in his domain. He's back down to just Middlesex and 2 kingdoms, including the world's most pointless kingdom, the Kingdom of Jerusalem, that seems to do nothing but occasionally cause trouble. Though I've also noticed one other thing about England, which is England might be about to get dangerous. You see, the current king, Cedric, he's 56, so he's not dying imminently, but he's not going to be around forever either. In theory, he could just drop off at any moment. And oh, Brimstone, one of the Hellfire children, has tragically passed away. She did have cancer, so, you know, understandable really. But when he does die, he's got an heir. Right now, that heir is the age of 9. But that heir is a genius. And willful and playful. Willful suggests might be going, well actually, weirdly I can see what his focus is. It's heritage. Ah, it's because he's Scottish. Because yeah, there's been a bunch of intermarrying going on between England and Scotland. So they're going to try and make him back to being Anglo-Saxon. But he's picked up willful, so potentially he might end up in, say, a military education once he gets over to his education age 12. And yeah, genius, willful military education, this guy could be scary. Like, those stats, at the age of 9, this kid could be worrying. So, we might well definitely need the Holy Roman Emperor's help to take him out. Ah, but something very, very important indeed. We've got a whole bunch of economic points, and I've been wanting something in particular. I want improved keeps 4, because that actually unlocks the next level of, well, understandably, the keep. It lets me improve the keep, which is rather important because the keep tends to be fairly cheap to improve and provides just a straight percentage increase to the size of the levy and the garrison. So it's probably the most cost-efficient way for me to increase the number of troops coming out of Cornwall and Devon. So yeah, improved keeps are going to go up immediately. And let's have a look, see what we can do with that. Can we immediately get the keep up slightly? No. Well, only because I don't have the money for it. But yeah, that is levy size and garrison size up by 15%, which is very, very nice indeed. Wait, hang on, let's just let a little bit of money come in. There we go. So keep 2 is 15 and 15, and keep 3 is also 15 and 15. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Okay, maybe it's good or maybe it's not. I'm not sure. It feels like it should be good. Wait, that wasn't even the right thing, because that's keep 2. But actually, in the capital itself, we can check this out. So, we've already got keep 3. Keep 4's just become available. So, keep 3 gives me plus 30%. And if I had the money, keep 4 give me... I assume that's, like, 20% on top of keep 3. Right? I hope so, anyway. Ooh, and also, Helen has become a masterful commander. A brilliant strategist, which gives her, yeah, not just martial, but also intrigue up, stewardship up, learning down a bit, health up, personal combat skills up. Alright, Helen. Are you going to impress me? Helen is... Actually, Helen is not my eldest, because Helen is one of a pair of twins. So, Helen is good, actually. Look at that. Brilliant strategist. patient, diligent, deceitful, and brave. Alright, you, my good man, you are a lucky bastard, Prince Otto of France, aged 28. I think we should do it. I think we should get those two married and just lock down a positive relationship with France, because if I could be friends with France and the Holy Roman Empire, then I've got nothing to fear from that genius kid in England. So, congratulations to you. Betrothed can marry. Any chance you're willing to do it matrimony? No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. So, she has to leave my hand, but I do have 2 sons. So, the line will live on. Everything will be fine. So Helen is going to go off and marry Otto in France and hopefully have loads of children and everything will be marvellous. We'll honour the betrothal. Base reluctance. There you go. Great. Now, presumably, Andromache's also just come of age, right? Because they were like, you know, twins and all of that. That's kind of the point. So, there we go. Andromache, who didn't get an alert to tell me how well she did in her education because apparently we just don't like her as well. Maybe it's not as important because, yeah, actually, the person she's going to marry is still 4 years off. So, yeah, one daughter has married the future King of France, and the other daughter has married the future Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. So I'd say I'm doing pretty well at the marriage game, actually. This is working out quite well for me. And she is stressed, she's arbitrary, she's lustful, erudite, diligent, a twin, scholarly theologian. Yeah, actually, not bad at all. Though, we can sort that out for you. No, I can't, because I need to actually save up my knowledge for a bit. But I can get rid of that stress for you, don't you worry. And there we go, it is done. The King of France and his heir, Prince Otto of France. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We love each other. And my daughter is now positioned as the future Queen of France. Sadly, of course, her children not of my dynasty, but still. It's worth it, because that is going to be a long-running relationship between me and France now, because it's only a matter of time until King Ansel the Wise dies. He's literally 73. 73 and stressed. So he can't be around for too much longer. Oh yes, and let's actually repay the loan that I took out from the Jewish merchants for the war that I started at literally the stupidest time last time. So, job done there. Things looking very, very good indeed. And, oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. I thought I was over the whole eye business. You know, the time that my dysentery was cured by cutting out my eye because doctors. Lately I've been experiencing a blinding pain where my missing eye used to be. It distracts me from my duties and leaves me bedridden for entire days. I've never heard of anything like it. I fear the problem will not go away on its own. Right, he's got phantom pain. Yes, I was about to suggest, is that just phantom pain? But, oh, personal combat skill -3. Right, do not let him lead. And unfortunately, that's going to have a pretty major impact on my ability to lead full stop. Oh, and speak of the devil, I think the Holy Roman Empire might have just... Have you just died? Right, you've just died a natural death. What does that do to all of those marriage alliances I had lined up? Hang on. Oh, never mind the major political considerations. First, I'm just riding through the countryside and I've come across a lovely inn and I want some food and wine. Yay, food and wine. Soon after the innkeeper disappeared into the kitchen, we notice a foul odour emanating from somewhere below the floorboards. One of my escort pulls open the loose board to reveal a massive manure pit. And then the floor explodes and... Right. So, Prince Achilleus, who I'm increasingly regretting the time I decided to make him my rival, decided to create an elaborate trap in which he would lure me to an inn, which was in fact a giant pile of manure which was going to explode. Which is one way to assassinate me, I suppose. Right. So, King Iliad the Hunter has sadly gone on his last hunt. But even though he was only 44, it must be said, he lived more in his 44 years than many people live in double that. So as it turns out, King Iliad the Hunter has died. given up. He didn't really give up the ghost. He was exploded by a giant pile of explosive poo. Murdered on the orders of Prince Achilles of Cornwall. Though not especially blessed, we hope Iliad will find peace in the afterlife. Oh. Well, that's one way to go. It's a hell of a way to die. What do we write on the bloody gravestone? So, ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment to remember King Iliad, who I will say was as epic a leader as his name would suggest. He is survived by 4 children, soon to be 3. We'll get to you, bloody Achilles. Achilles, who went on to kill him, unfortunately, but he had a great life. Alright, he joined a crusade in the Middle East. He looked up at the walls of Jerusalem and then immediately came back home again, but no one told the Pope, so it was fine. He suffered from some terrible diseases we thought he might die from, but he recovered. He was intelligent, fiercely intelligent, and in some ways perhaps the saddest thing about his untimely death is that we will never actually get to see what his incredible scientific knowledge could have led us to. We will never see what mysteries the horoscopes will reveal or what his magnum opus could have been had he got round to writing it, because that is one of the things he could have done. But his was a life appropriately for a man named Iliad, a life steeped in myth and legend. I believe in pretty much the first year of his reign, he went hunting for the great stag that eluded King John the Fat for so many years. And he found it. He saw it straight away. He was truly a great man. A man who we will tell stories of to our children for years to come. Rest in peace, King Iliad. I think you were taken from us too soon. But, in some ways, this opens the door to greatness because, as the game openly says, King Connor, blessed with awesome knowledge of all things between heaven and earth, Connor's rule is sure to be legendary. Long live King Connor! And that means 2 very important things have just happened, ladies and gentlemen. One, we have this guy as a king. Bloody hell. 12, 16, 19, 18, 11, over 10 in every attribute. Bloody hell. He is good. He is very, very good indeed. And, more importantly, in some ways, we have got ourselves, finally, after all these years, justice for Maradud. Because Queen Rhiannon of Cornwall, hang on, let's just go and find her nice and quickly. Queen Rhiannon of Cornwall is, I believe she was, yes, the granddaughter of Maradud. The granddaughter of Maradud now sits upon the throne. So hopefully we have made up for the slight, mistake where we burnt him to death after he did literally nothing wrong. Also, he's officially King Connor the Seducer of Cornwall. Right, so while you've been off on your own doing your own thing, what have you actually picked up, my good man? So you're still Midas Touch, which is great. Shrewd, fantastic. You are a hedonist. So a life of debauchery and sin. Fertility is up, diplomacy's up, intrigue up. Same trait opinion, so other debauched people, great. However, yeah, Christian church opinion is down, opposite trait opinion down. Honestly, that seems like a pretty good thing to have. He is temperate, he is patient, he is humble, he is brave, he is lustful. Okay, so he is extremely fertile, like ludicrously fertile. And now we've got control of him, we should probably take advantage of that. He's also stressed, and sadly, tragically, we can't actually... Well, actually, we could sort that out. We could have him immediately join the actual same college and actually get him working on becoming a master scientist, or as close as you're allowed to be in the 12th century. But first of all, and most importantly of all, we've actually got to do the most important tradition. It's time for him to have a haircut. Now, what do we think about your hair? So it's not exactly... Okay, that wasn't hair. That's the background. No, that's... Why does that just change the background? Right, so, right now he's got, yeah, I'm not so keen on that hair. I think we need, yeah, if we can kind of cut that down a little bit. Would we like you to have a beard? Maybe just a little one. Maybe just like a little bit of a one. Maybe just like a little moustache or something. That's not too bad. That's a bit of just designer stubble there. Let's have a look. See, what do I like? Ooh, with the twin peaks at the bottom, that's not bad. Yeah, slightly shorter hair there, a nice little twin-peaked beard. I think it looks a bit evil in his default thing, like some sort of, like, evil, sneering elf king. I think that works a little bit better right there. Yes, that'll do the job. That's much flipping nicer. So, you're 27 right now, so hopefully you'll live to a grand old age, assuming, of course, that you don't have a son who decides to blow you up with a giant pile of explosive poo. So we've learned a valuable lesson there. Don't let that happen, basically. Just try to avoid that happening. Also, I just had a thought. So, my new king has got a daughter named Margaret, who is, you know, not looking like she's going to necessarily be anything special. Now, by any chance, would she be interested in marrying a hunchback over here? Yes, yes. This could be just the little thing. Oh my goodness. Just say yes. Oh, but, it needs to be matrilineal. Are you willing to do matrilineal? Because she's important. Oh, flip, the Duke of Scotland says yes. He's willing to say yes. Opinion of King Connor, age of Margaret, skills of Margaret, base reluctance. Oh my goodness. The line of King John survives! The line of King John is not dead! John is flipping back! Oh yes. Oh flipping yes. Also, so be it. Yeah, we should probably actually, like, you know, bury Iliad. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Iliad. Right, so we've got some stuff to get on with here. Like, say, for example, the fact that you just killed the old king, which was particularly odd because you literally had nothing to gain from it. Like, nothing at all. You know, if we were under primogeniture, I'd understand why he did that, because then he would have just made himself king. But he didn't. He didn't make himself king. He just basically, yeah, blew up the old king and didn't get anything from it, aside from an excellent chance I'm going to throw him into a dungeon now, because, well, I could throw him into the dungeon. But then again, what would be the point? He's 19, his wife's 21. We should probably leave him be until such time as he comes of age. I mean, well, unless he's going to try and, like, kill anyone else. But then he only did that because I myself made the decision to basically turn him into a rival for the king. But then again, he is a kinslayer. What happens if now he gets a bit of a taste for it? Well, actually, I'm amazed he got away with it. His intrigue isn't even that high. I'm not sure if someone else was in on that. I'm not sure if we have any way of finding out. Right. I'm going to leave you alone because it would be a waste if you didn't produce any children. So we're just going to leave you be, especially as well, your wife is pregnant already. I could just throw you away and then we'll just kind of hope that it turns out to be a good kid. Right, maybe revisit that decision. Right, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be done, as it's the start of a new reign anyway. Once again, random positions in the council clear out, and some others don't, but whatever. So let's actually just reappoint everyone who is already doing their job. We've got Rhiannon, the Queen of Cornwall. Why would you be... Wait. Oh, right. Yeah. So now I'm Connor. Unfortunately, I've got a wife that hates me. So, possibly this wasn't the greatest justice for Maradud, because, yeah, his granddaughter's now stuck in a marriage with a bastard who just goes around having sex with literally everything. So, okay, I can see how you wouldn't be desperately thrilled by that, and there is Stronglass down here. Because, yeah, I've actually changed the laws enough that we can actually have women in just about every position on the council, I think, with the exception of court chaplain, I think... Not marshal, yes. I think I need to move the law at one more stage for related women, directly related women, to be marshal. So I could have a loyalist in the form of Stronglass, except that wouldn't really... Oh. Okay. Wait. Why does Priam... Oh. I had sex with his wife, didn't I? Oh. Okay. Yes. Yes, I did. So... Ah! Yes, of course. Paola the Unfaithful. So the person she was unfaithful with was actually the new king. Yes. Yes, I see the problem. Also, at some point she had a child and just kind of got automatically named Brioc and I was never given the option. So now the children are called Sarpedon, Clorinda, Aeneas, and Brioc. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. So yeah, I guess that solves the mystery of where Clorinda came from. Right there. So this is going to cause trouble. Because Priam is now actually sitting inside territory and has access to troops. And are you also hating me because of rival? Right. Why are you rivals with Sulphur? Oh dear. Right. Connor might have caused... You might have annoyed quite a few people, actually. I think there's quite a few affairs and whatnot he's been involved with that people are not thrilled about, and neither is his wife. Also, I've just noticed this, and it's wonderful. So, Achilles actually quite likes the new King Connor. And part of that is because Achilles is gay, and as a result, he's actually picked up a bunch of traits of the fact that the new king is a seducer, seduction focused. So basically, he thinks the new king's super hot. So as a result of that, isn't planning to murder him with a giant fake inn full of poo. You know, the reign of King Connor was supposed to be a wonderful moment where we all just kind of joined hands and sang a song about how happy we were to have basically the most amazing king we've ever had. But apparently he's been having a whale of a time over being a vassal in his own territory. So maybe I've learned a lesson, which is that someone you think you want to make king, maybe just keep them in your own court so that they don't kind of go completely off the flipping rails on their own. So we need to get Priam off the council. But the problem is, Priam actually holds territory. So we're going to have to take that back off him, because if we don't, then potentially he's just got a base from which to plot against us. And he absolutely flipping despises us. So, Drew, you've actually managed to recover from your illness, so brilliant. Unfortunately, I need you to be on the lookout for plots. Like, lots of plots. So many flipping plots. In fact, just for safety, for a few years, I'm just actually going to keep Drew here, and she's just going to scheme inside my own court, purely for the sake of making sure that she uncovers every single plot, because I am deeply worried by the possibility that Priam's going to plot against me. Largely because I basically have to take the actual territory back off him at this point. So, oh god. Right, Gwyneth has already fallen back into my hands automatically because that was already where I was. Alright, Kurnev we'll deal with when it comes up. We're just going to have to take this back off you. I'm sorry, you can't have a title if you absolutely despise me. Now, is he going to actually say yes? Power, base reluctance. Okay, so that's going to cost me 50 prestige. Lowers his opinion. In all fairness, he already despises me. Okay. Hopefully he will actually say yes. Also, I've got... No, we don't want to play as disaster. No, let's just not play as disaster. So, hopefully he'll actually accept that. Yeah, and also I've received eyeballs. I like to think Connor didn't know anything about this whole scientific business. He just said, right, let's go into the treasury and see what we've got in it. Why are there antlers and gallbladders everywhere? Why are there eyeballs on this shelf? What the hell? And speaking of which, there's actually a special event for that. I've recently come into possession of some manner of alchemical ingredients. While I admit I'm intrigued, the cloven hooves have almost turned to dust. So, I can just basically throw them away for 25 piety. Or I can actually gain prestige and piety by destroying them and making a big fuss about it. Or I could keep them around. How about we just keep them around, just in case we need them down the line. Alright, so we've got all of that, and we've obviously inherited all the rest of it. I've decided to accept your suggestion. Oh, hang on, that's... Oh, there it is. There's confirmation. John's line shall not die. Through Luna, John's line shall live on, damn it. And though it grieves Priam deeply, he has indeed decided to let the territory go. Right, so we're massively over domain size capacity already. Fine. And King Connor is no longer steward for King Elizabeth. Ah, that's why we don't have a steward, because he was literally the steward. Alright, so let's see what else we've got here. And also, various claims were not inherited, unsurprisingly, because they were just weak claims. Alright, known as the Seducer, and obviously we know Helen has naffed off to France. Okay, so, We're caught up on all of the updates. Great. What else have we got? Title loss on succession. Right, why is that? It's because I haven't voted yet. Fine. So we know what we need to do here. Straight over to the laws and straight over to... Okay. Why is there no votes for any of this? Okay, fine. Let's just go over to Brittany. So, who's going to be our new heir? So, unless, of course, you manage to get yourself blown up by one of your own children, by one of very, very many different mothers. Actually, it's more likely you'll be blown up by one of the husbands, who's very annoyed, because it feels like you've made a lot of enemies and a lot of rivals in your brief time up in Gwynedd. I should not have let you go and do that. Like, yeah, lesson learned, alright? Heirs, keep them close. Don't let them go off and do their own thing. They will go off the rails, potentially. So, obviously, Achilles decided to vote for Achilles. Achilles is such a dick. He's such a dick. Alright, I'm going to leave him alone for the minute, because I want him to have some children. But as soon as his wife is pregnant a few times, that's it. He's going straight into oubliette, alright? Because he literally killed the last king. So, who have we got that's actually any good to just be a temporary stand-in to potentially lead us? Well, we've got Hellfire. Hellfire is 26, so the chance of him actually, you know, living longer than Connor is not exactly great. But he'd be a safe pair of hands. He's lacking on the stewardship front, but he's got good martial skill, decent enough diplomacy, honest, brave, humble. He's stark raving bonkers. Okay, maybe we move on in that case. You know, the strange thing is, Strong Lass, who is apparently my lover, kind of need to check who my lover is, because I feel like I might have more than one. Strong Lass is actually good. So, yeah, she got a decent education, level 3 on learning. Strong, shrewd, ambitious, paranoid, and zealous. That's some good stats. I'm going to actually nominate her for the time being. We'll probably change that, because as time goes by and children come through, the next generation will come into focus a little bit. But I'm not opposed to nominating Strong Lass, just for the minute. And speaking of Strong Lass, she would actually make a decent enough steward at 15 and would actually be someone who'd vote with me. Yeah, alright. How many other loyalists do we have? No other loyalists, but a couple of pragmatists, one zealot. Alright, we've also got ourselves a Chancellor. Who do we want to have as Chancellor? Could well be the Italian guy. He is okay. He'd be a glory hound, which is unfortunate. You'd be a pragmatist, which seems, yeah, arguably a bit more useful to me. Or I could just bring in someone new. Yeah, you know what? That's not great. I'm just going to bring in someone new, actually. Let's find someone we can just invite into our territory. Here we go. This will do the job perfectly. So we've got ourselves a Chancellor of somewhere else. Actually, good set of stats. Also has Quick, which is nice. Unfortunately, yeah, stressed and homosexual, so that might impact his, fertility and health quite significantly. But I might just marry him off with a matrilineal marriage to someone in the family, just to see if we might be able to get, just a handful of quick children out of him. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So you, my good man, come to court. I need a good Chancellor. Yes, and I also need to set a new crown focus. That resets. So Cornwall's already at, like, I think that's max prosperity. So let's actually make Devon the crown focus. See if we can just... I quite like that. So my retinue's just standing there with a giant rotating crown. It's a marvellous weapon of war we've just invented right there. So hopefully Devon will actually be improved slightly as well. Domain too big, yes I know. Council is discontent, yep I know. That'll just kind of show up sooner or later. Yes of course. And we do actually need a new court physician, because they just walk away. They just wander off for no unexplained reason. So, okay, let's see if anyone good happens to show up. And if they don't, I could just basically search for someone who's got really high learning and we'll just invite them in instead. But we'll see if I like the look of who shows up in the event, because I like just using the events. That's kind of nice. Right, ambition for you. So, groom an heir, build a war chest, or see the realm prosper. Let's focus on the heir just for the time being. So, fertility up by another 20%. Bloody hell, that's a lot of fertility right there. Now, as my wife already hates me, and I'm stuck with a seduction focus for a while, so, you know, I may as well use it, I did marry Hellfire over to this rather promising woman, who right now is 25, and she is a genius. Absolute flipping genius. And they never had any children whatsoever, because he's an insane lunatic. So I'm guessing it just didn't work out between them. So, in which case, it would quite frankly be a shame if I didn't actually get anything out of Karen. So, as a result of that, let's see if we can try and seduce Karen and gain a new lover. Now, I'm not sure if that gets rid of Stronglass, because if so, we might need to just kind of find a new steward. So, oh, this feels like I'm playing a dangerous game, but screw it, we'll go with it. Anyway, I do still need to get rid of a further 2 parts of my domain, so the same 2 as before can just be got rid of. I just need to find the right people. People who don't hate me, and for, you know, very good reason. Okay, this is beautiful. So, the people who like me are various women in the court who find me super hot and sexy. Meanwhile, the people who hate me are the various men whose wives I've slept with. So, okay, this might be a bit hard to pick through, actually. Though, actually, there's nothing to say that I have to give just, like, you know, 1 counter to 1 person, 1 counter to 1 person. I could give multiple territories to the same guy, so I could give Achilles the Bastard more territory. That's true. I need to make sure I don't give him... I think if he's got 4, then at that point he could try and, like, create the duchy, and at that point bad things start happening. So I need to make sure he can't do that. But I could give him... I could just give him 2. Is it safe to give him 2? Like, normally it's 51%, but I'm not sure if the AI plays by the same rules as me. So... okay, this place isn't looking so hot right now. Yeah, you know what? Achilles! Good old Achilles. I am going to give you another bit of territory. There you go. Now you own 2 bits of territory, you magnificent bastard. Please don't blow me up. I was about to say, well, you know what? I've learnt my lesson. The important thing is to put people who have nothing to gain from me being dead into positions where they're vassals. And I was about to put this guy in, the Italian son of the Italian prince I invited over. Because, you know, he looks pretty decent. Then I realised that's the husband of Stronglass. So, sooner or later, he is going to hate me. I mean, if you remember, Geralt wasn't actually part of my dynasty, and he did a fine job as a vassal. No problems with him whatsoever. He didn't try to blow me up with a giant poo house once. So, Paul Ereving. Yeah, I remember this guy. I think I just invited his father down from Scotland at one point just as an experiment, because I wanted to see how various things related to succession actually worked. And he just sort of hung around. So, yeah, he's actually turned out to be okay. He's 24. Let's see if we can get him a good wife. I tell you what, you'll do right here at the top. So, Jutta, Princess of Denmark, fortune builder for fertility up. Very, very nice indeed. A twin, ambitious, kind, diligent and brave. And comes with a claim on the Kingdom of Denmark. Weak, but inheritable. I would say that you are just flipping marvellous. So you head over here. Let's see what we can do with you two. Meanwhile, update on the seduction. I shall bring all my seduction skills to bear on Karen until I have her wrapped around my finger. She will be mine. I start planning my next move. Oh dear. Oh dear. Just wait for them to get married, because yeah, sometimes if you... Oh, hello! Is that Norway? Right, so you've decided that those two can get married. Great, she's come with a fancy hat. That's always a good sign. So, you two are married. You're desiring to get married. You are married. Congratulations, well done. By the way, I'm giving you Gwyneth. So, you know, have fun. Have fun with Gwyneth. And quite frankly, if at some point you feel like causing trouble and trying to take back the Isle of Man for yourself, I've not really got any problems with that. So, yeah. Go for it, I say. He's actually in just the right position to potentially just hop over there and take care of it. Ooh, this could be interesting, yes. And there he goes. Beautiful. So, he's been given Gwyneth, and Achilles, the bastard, has got 2 counties down south, and that is all I need, because even though he's actually got 2 counties, he does still get just 1 vote, right? Yep, just 1 vote. Right. Should have spotted that earlier. That was kind of obvious in retrospect, yes. Also, let's just get the council right here. So Achilles has actually got a 15 on stewardship. So I might want to move him over to stewardship because I don't need Stronglass to be steward. That's absolutely fine. So Achilles can actually just change round over to that. So you change your council position, please. And I need to do that so that Paul can be the Marshal, because the Marshal doesn't seem that important. So therefore the space for the new Chancellor I've just invited in. So that's now Paul. And now, as a result of that, Achilles can... Achilles? Achilles, why don't you want to be steward? Why would you not want to be steward right now? Achilles? Yeah, I know you want to be on the council. So how about you have a council role? Right, he's not showing up as an option, which is unusual. I've never seen anyone not show up as an option for steward before. That's interesting. Also, ooh, a one-eyed man. Somebody the wise. Okay, how wise? Oh, wow. Okay, you're super wise. Yes. Yes, an adventurer, genius, half-blind guy. That has typically worked out well for me before. Make him a generous offer. Get that man to court. Right, so the new Chancellor goes into a good position there. How's the council looking right now? Pragmatists and loyalists for the most part. That's probably a pretty sensible council. The question then is, why, Achilles, are you not showing up here? Because you should be. In fact, now Achilles is refusing to show up on the list for literally any position. Now I'm starting to wonder whether that means I just need to let the month tick round to December before he actually reappears as an option. Because sometimes you need to wait for a month to tick over for lists to update in Crusader Kings 2. But I hope we haven't run into Seduction in the Wild. I'm attending a festive outing with Karen. Unfortunately, half the court is also here. I'm having trouble getting any time alongside my amorous quarry. Seek an ally among her friends. Leave a note to meet me by the stream. Flirt with her discreetly. Okay, well, all her friends do seem to like me. Basically, every lady in the court flipping loves me. They're so into me. Leave her a note to meet me by the stream. Could get stood up. Flirt with her discreetly. Could potentially lead to her husband, you know, beating me up or something. How about we seek an ally among her friends to help arrange this? So I found Princess Andromache of Cornwall sympathetic to my romantic cause. She and Karen chanced upon me by a nearby stream, and the three of us... Oh, blimey! Right, the three of you. The three of you did ya? Blimey, and wait, what's Andromache even doing here? Wait, no, Andromache's not the one who's in France cementing our relationship with France. Andromache's the one who's going to be heading over to the Holy Roman Empire shortly. Okay, so, right, I think I've just had a threesome with one of my commander's wives and the old king's daughter. So, here we are. Crusader Kings 2. So, I can confess my love, make a lewd suggestion, or quote love poetry. So, I'm basically betting whether she's naive and romantic, experienced and bawdy, or into poetry and learning. Now, what do we know about her? She is clever. She's got learning over 10, so the poetry might work. She's trusting, though. That's but she's also deceitful. She's deceitful, and she's chaste. Okay, if she's chaste and she's trusting, that would suggest that the love option might work. Although she's also an aggressive leader. Fine, apparently she would make in fact, she'd make a really good commander, potentially. I'm going to confess my love, because she is trusting and she is chaste. So, naive romantic doesn't seem like the stupidest thing in the world. And, oh dear. Right. She blushed and stammered and rushed off. The virtue is strong in this one. We're going to need to try that again. So, just confessing my love did not work so well. And, wait, what? Who's Countess Snowfred of Kerneth? Who exactly is... Oh, blimey! That's Achilles' wife! Oh no. Oh. Is there anyone in the entire realm I haven't slept with? Oh dear. Right, luckily, Achilles doesn't know. So this is great. How good's the child? How good's the child? The child is... We don't know anything about the child yet. Fine. So, okay. Achilles thinks that little Prostlon is his. So, oops. -1 piety. I'm just deeply scared that at any second more pregnant women might just burst into the throne room, because I don't know how much he's been getting on with up in Gwynedd before I was controlling him directly, but it feels like I've missed a wild time. And tragically, my second attempt to seduce Karen didn't actually go any better. So I went to an informal event, but she was unimpressed. Well, I'm going to be honest. She is a genius. She's a genius with 20 martial and 14 on the intrigue, and, you know, literally she's a genius. Have you considered the possibility, Connor, she just might be slightly out of your league, because you, my good man, you may be shrewd, but you're not a genius. Still, we'll keep going, because we could have one hell of a child together. Right, so at this point, Achilles is just straight up refusing to be on any position in the council. He's just basically refusing to be involved in any way. He won't take any position, but he's also furious that he doesn't have a position on the council, which is concerning. So right now we have got a relatively powerful vassal who could actually call up, yeah, nearly 2,000 men, who despises me, demands to be on the council, refuses to actually be on the council, and does have form for attempting to murder leaders, even if he gets nothing out of it, if he doesn't like them, purely because he just feels like it, and he also killed the last king. So, I feel like, as we've actually managed to get a child out of him already, or to be precise, we've managed to get a child with his wife, and he just doesn't know about it, yeah, it's probably time we go for the righteous imprisonment there, though admittedly it's only a 50-50 shot. Go for it. Oh dear. Right, so it would appear that we now need to take out Achilles. To arms! It's fine. Everything's under control. This is not a problem. Probably we just raise the military. We've got plenty of military here. In fact, we can probably, yeah, you guys just get in here as fast as you can. You've probably got enough strength to handle that by yourselves without the rest of this getting involved. Though these troops here, they can all definitely just go home. So, get time ticking along. This is literally the Christmas invasion. I think we began this on Christmas Day. So all of you are now heading around here. And Achilles, I'm afraid it's time to pay for your crimes. So, we've got 2,300 men here. Is that really enough? Is it? And also, who's Iago? Who exactly is Iago? The commander of Cornwall. Oh, this must be someone you've brought with you from your court, I'm assuming. Oh, well, he's terrible. You shouldn't have bothered bringing him. Instead, deploy my usual bunch. We've got the bishop in the front, who's actually getting better and better. He's actually now got, yeah, flat terrain expert and a direct leader. So he's actually doing a good job at the front, right there. And then we've got our specialist flankers at the side. So, yeah, there will be a battle there guaranteed. No, he's decided to actually back out of that. So let's actually go over here. And my current occupation simply leaves me with no time to chase Karen, or anyone else for that matter. There is no rush. It's fine. We'll get with her sooner or later. So now we're just basically invading their territory. Just in case I need reinforcements, I'm going to bring these guys together over here. And they will hit this place on the 25th. So there will be a battle there. This place has nothing special about it at all. So we're just going straight in for the battle there. So one of their flanks has already completely collapsed, for the simple reason they basically have no troops there. And as a result, the centre is now collapsing, and now we're just basically wrapping it up. Yeah, my superior commanders and troops did a beautiful job there. So as a result of that, you have already been very, very badly crushed. I will keep these troops here, just in case he decides to hop on some boats and try and counter-invade, which he does sometimes do, and there was very briefly a marriage alert there. I saw it. Where did it go? Alright, fine. It's gone now. In fact, you know what? We can probably speed this up slightly by just actually calling in just a handful of boats. Raise the boats and raise the boats. deploy the boat together over here, merge them, and then we'll just pick up these guys. And I've already told you, there's no rush. Just, you know, focus on seducing Karen when you've got a minute. It's fine. And then we'll just bring the boats in here. And then embark the army, please. There we go. And now you just head round over here and drop those guys off. And then we can basically just take out... Yeah, then we can just take out both of these places simultaneously, which will be a bit faster. And then we just break apart the boat. No special event. Then you guys come down over here. Handle this. 30,000 men is fine to keep Connor safe, so we'll just basically siege down this territory. So this is just to basically capture and get rid of Achilleus, to be honest, because he was becoming an annoyance. And he did kill the old king, so it kind of feels appropriate that we actually do, you know, deal with him. Ooh, add another mark to the list of women in the court I've slept with. So apparently Agatha, who was actually married to Bernard, I apparently slept with her, and she's now had a child, and he actually thinks that's it. Oh god. How many unofficial children do I have? Does the game actually keep track of that anywhere? No, officially the only children that are being recognised here are the children that are, well, recognised as mine. So, okay, little Milia is actually secretly mine, and is apparently quick. So, that could be worth keeping an eye on. And a message from Drew. I believe that one of your vassals can be discouraged from associating with conspiratorial factions if the proper leverage is obtained. Okay, so use legalism to gain leverage, or do nothing for now. Well, I haven't really got a problem with Paul, to be honest, unless you're telling me there's a faction. But no, I like Paul. Do nothing for the time being, please. Just leave it be. Me and Paul, we get on just fine. And where are you going, by the way? You're trying to head over into here. What's your destination, my good man? Where are you actually heading? Ah! You're just basically sieging down that area, are you? We'll just basically... yeah, you guys quickly just storm this place. Great, well done. And once we've stormed that, head back over here and then actually just attack those guys, finish them off. So right now we've got a battle over here, and seriously, just keep chasing Karen. Unless, of course, chasing her is starting to make you... Are you getting stressed because of how much you're chasing Karen? I think you were already stressed. I suspect you already were. So, you get over there. These guys are going to be, yeah, once again, completely flipping destroyed. Once again, one of their flanks is going to collapse, at which point we can just actually use our flank to put pressure onto their centre. And job flipping done. So, we're just doing a visit to a local abbot. And we've actually got ourselves a group of monks translating beautifully illustrated books. Alright, I could buy some books. I might gain 1 learning, but only 20% chance. It's basically 40 gold for 30 prestige. Pretty pictures, I have more important things to do. You know what? 40 gold for a 20% chance of +1 learning. I did not get it, but you know what? It's still prestige. That's fairly inefficient prestige purchase, but it'll do the job. And now, yeah, another bit of violence coming in there. That battle has been won. And we've actually managed to... Wait, what? Priam? How? Wait, what? Oh! Priam decided to join in with Achilleus, did he? Right. Well, good. This works. This all works just fine in that case. So, he was already causing trouble for me. Oh, this is turning into a bit of a bloodbath for the faction right here. So, Priam, my rival, has been captured. Now, how do his children feel about me right now? They seem to be mostly okay. Right, so what occurred here was Priam fled to Kurnev to join the rebellion. Right, I see. But now his children are all over the flipping shop. So, one of his children has been sent up to the Duchy of Moray in Scotland. Actually, 2 of his children have been. And one of them's over in... Where even is that? Right, elsewhere in Scotland. So, Priam jumped on the rebellion and then basically sent all his children to Scotland. And now I've captured him. Now, Priam, who is currently my prisoner. So, ransom him. How much? Oh, 14 gold. It's not much, is it? Honestly, oh, but this will cause me to be considered a kinslayer. Right, well, good news. Excellent news, in fact. I've got a nice, particularly deep, spiky hole. So, get in the oubliette, please. There you go. Achilles can join you in there momentarily. Right, it's like an extremely violent retelling of Iliad Book 24. Ooh, classics jokes. Right, if we're lucky, one more quick assault should actually get us straight in there. Is that 100%? And oh, good lord, I found the time to have sex with my wife. I'm as shocked as you are. Sadly, not quite enough. And that is... Oh, wow. We're actually losing quite a few men here. So maybe we'll just let nature take its course. You're totally heading up there to drop off some troops, aren't you? Well, bad luck for you. I've still got some spare troops up here I haven't actually called up. And yes, I know you're busy with bloody Karen. I'm starting to get worried about your obsession with Karen. It's getting a bit much. There we go. He's just going for a march somewhere. Let's just wrap this up at this point. We'll take a couple of light knocks in the final assaults. Yeah, we've lost maybe a few hundred men there. Just got ourselves a victory. And that gets us to 100%. Nice. So, you guys offer peace. So, enforce my demands. What actually was my demand, by the way? So, she gets herself imprisoned, which is a little bit on the harsh side, because where the bloody hell is Achilles? I didn't really want to imprison her, to be honest. So, okay, she's been imprisoned. Great. So, who's running this place right now? She is, but from behind bars. Right. Well, this is all fascinating. Does she not get a regent or anything? Because I feel like she should do. Also, let's just get our troops out here and then break them down, because there's a lot of illness floating around in this part of the world. What even is that? Is it bad? It's... Hang on. Consumption! Not bad, but not terrible. And also, it looks like... Ah, perfect. The tuberculosis over here burnt out before it made it to me. So it actually managed to hurt England, but not Wales. Spot on. Also, I've just been told that a daughter has been born to this guy and to Stronglass. And I'm incredibly suspicious that in a moment it's going to turn out to be not his. In fact, I'm going to put that bet in writing. This girl shall be called Not Mine, which is obviously, you know, a very cunning riddle that he shall never figure out. And yep, I thought so. I figured Not Mine wouldn't be his. So that's... I think that's, four different unrecognised bastards I've had via 3 different women, and also possibly 2 via my own wife. And okay, Karen is just like not proving to work out for me, and this alert is coming up constantly. I'm just going to give up for now because I think it's starting to stress me out. Now, the bigger question as far as I'm concerned, so we've managed to successfully imprison, hang on, a 0-year-old girl! Oh god. Right, so she's been imprisoned. She doesn't like me. Title claimant in prison. Actually, she would get over it. She would get over if I just released her. So I've really got no problem with her ruling, except Prince Hector of Cornwall is the next person to inherit. Now, he is, well, he's a bit kind of either way on me, but he is back in the dynasty. I think I could potentially get this guy to like me. So if I were to throw the 0-year-old baby into the oubliette, then the baby would presumably die, and then, you know, it would move over to Hector. And then I wouldn't have this place being run by Regency or whatever. So... oh, bloody hell. Right, well, where's Achilles? He's... oh, he died. When did he die? He died in April 1149. Right. Okay. Did we know that? Okay, possibly we knew that. So... I feel bad about this. I do feel bad about this. But if we just basically throw her into the oubliettes. She probably won't... Oh, God. Crusader Kings 2 has turned me into a monster. But Hector, who is next in line, is... Yeah, he's 14. And I think he could be persuaded to like me. And could potentially be a much better vassal. Oh, God. Oh, God, what have I done? I'm a monster. I think possibly the reason I kept getting that alert was because I was so busy technically leading troops because I was leading one of the armies. Now I've stopped leading one of the armies, there's a possibility that actually I can get back to... Right, get back to seducing Karen. Where's Karen gone? Also, a random heathen just rocked up at my court who's been excommunicated. So, let's just get him down in the dungeon too, because I do enjoy putting people in my dungeon. Okay, I've got an idea. So, nobody likes me. A lot of people don't like me. Well, a lot of men in the court don't like me. How about we have a great big tournament in order to cheer everyone up? Alright? Bunch of prestige, bit expensive, but probably a good idea. Also, Prime, have I already put you into the oubliette right now? I'm not sure, but yeah, the heathen, he gets himself burnt at the stake, and that's probably good. I could move you back to a dungeon cell, and I could move you back to a dungeon cell too, but sorry, no, you're just gonna kind of be left down there. So in the oubliette, yeah, health -2. Hopefully the... Oh God, is this the worst thing I've done in this game so far? Because I kind of feel like it is. Yes, possibly so. King Connor, you are a monster. Right, who actually likes me, by the way? Like, definitely really likes me. Oh, barely anybody. I am not popular right now. Oh, dear. In fact, I'm not sure I could find a single... No. There's not a single person in my entire court who would be a loyalist if I made them my advisor. Oh, wow, that's depressing. Also, I forgot to actually assign my council to do things when they changed over. Right, you collect tax from Cornwall. You fabricate claims down the south of Ireland. You probably should be training some troops. You can actually... Do you want to stay scheming? No, I think the time for scheming is over. Get back over to... Is Rome safe now? Rome is safe right now. Get back over to Rome, study their technology, and you... yeah, improve religious relationships with Rome as well. So get back over there. Lovely. You two help each other out there. Oh, so here's interesting. So all of my pacts and whatever with England have worn off, including all of the truces. The old king is dead. Right now, England is being led by an 11-year-old boy, but he's a genius. So he's worryingly good for a child. If this kid actually finishes up his education, he could become truly dangerous. And he has actually got, yeah, a good 10,000 troops to call up. I, meanwhile, could only actually call up about 7,000 troops. And right now, I don't have much in the way of money either, because the grand tournament is about to happen. Okay, I've got a window here. A window of approximately, yeah, 5 years or thereabouts. Maybe a little bit less, because he could be about to turn 12. Let's say 4 years. Let us say that by the end of 1153... we probably want to go to war with England. Potentially with the assistance of the Holy Roman Empire. Oh, I never actually checked what the situation with the Holy Roman Empire was, because the old guy died. Right, okay, hang on. So, here we go. The new leader is 33 and is, oh, very good. He's slightly possessed by Satan, but other than that, he is excellent. And his child is betrothed to Andromache. Right, so I'm assuming... therefore, that... Let's just check this. Have we actually still got a pact going on here? Do we not? Oh dear. Right, well that's a concern. No, I don't actually have a non-aggression pact. Because the non-aggression pact was, well... I feel like it should stand. Because, like, you know, it's still someone who's closely related to you. So... if I were to break the betrothal and then immediately re-betroth, because right now it's not getting me anything, so okay, I'm going to break the betrothal. Okay, fine. Now let's have a chat about getting this guy re-engaged to the exact same flipping person. Except now he's saying no. Right, okay, learnt something very valuable there, which is even if people stay closely related to each other, it doesn't actually seem to carry down through the generations. So, actually, as a result of that, yeah, Queen Helen of France, fine, but we don't actually have a non-aggression pact, do we? No! No, we don't! Oh dear. Okay, so, problems. Problems. But they have a 15-year-old son that can't possibly be theirs. That can't possibly be legitimate. But let's just arrange a betrothal. I mean, you like me, right? You've got to like me, presumably. And they desire a better non-aggression pact. Oh, bloody hell. Right, so all of my allies have basically died and naffed off. And you're not willing to actually... Oh, dear. Oh, this is no good at all, no. Right, what's going on up in Scotland? How's Scotland getting on? Have you guys won that war versus Norway yet? That is... Wait, hang on. Versus King... Who's King Erland? What happened in Norway in the end? Ah, it's the old king. He's just changed his title a bit. So, you seemingly have... not won that yet. Oh, hang on, no. This is a completely different revolt. There's now a separate revolt going on, which is actually doing very well in terms of the Peasant Revolt. And this war, which has been dragging on for bloody ages, I'm guessing you've taken, yeah, you've successfully taken this area and probably have more to do yet. Right, so Scotland's not exactly in a great position to help me out. Though actually they do have 4,100 guys here. That is not bad at all. And once again, sadly, I can't actually do anything diplomatically with those guys. So I've already got a marriage tie, but it was of a previous generation's king. Okay, so this is all great. Ah, yes, of course. This prince isn't actually their child. These guys have got agnatic primogeniture, but they don't have a child yet. So once he actually does have a child, at that point... there's a possibility that we'll be able to get someone engaged to that child and bring France against England. So they could do with having a child, like, sooner rather than later, please. But for the moment, I don't have friends, and I don't think I could win that war against England. If England mobilises everything they've got against me, I would be in trouble. A lot of trouble. What's the current state of England? Pretty much unchanged by the looks of it. Ah, but more importantly... back to Karen. So, we've been dancing and conversing all night. She is clearly responding to my advances. Okay, this informal event's going much better than the last one. Right. Mead in my room, seek to make her my lover, leave her yearning for more, raise her opinion of me, she already quite likes me, or I'm affirmed, now I can end this. Right, okay. Just in case this was just a game for me. No. Mead in my room, milady. And what has gone on here? I thought I had Karen completely entranced. When I finally suggested we were tied together, she loudly mocked me and walked off with her rather, oh dear, laughing cruelly. Right. She is being very, very resistant to my charms, alright? Compared to literally every other woman in Wales. Ah, but here we go. The grand tournament. So... because the people who win this tournament tend to do very well out of it in terms of, you know, they actually like you more, I'm hoping this will actually get some relationships up with some of the guys in my court so they don't all hate me for all of the seducing and whatnot. Ah, and we've got seduction in the wild again. Okay, seek an ally among her friends. Let's see if Andromache's actually on board again. This time it's Alice Dunbar. She was not in the least bit sympathetic. In fact, I got the sense she'll be keeping an eye on me. I should have left Karen a note instead. Well, it worked last time, right? At this point, I'm just determined to seduce Karen. Alright, I'm absolutely determined. And as for Princess Margaret, who is betrothed to the, the lazy hunchback, who actually has turned out to be brawny and lusty, which isn't the worst thing in the world, so... bare minimum, yeah, attraction and fertility is up a tiny bit there. Fine. We need to give her an education, but unfortunately she's brooding, but also haughty, so, oh dear. She's not got a single thing which is actually just good. Well, you know what? Let's go for diplomatic education in that case, because why not, eh? Here we go. I've managed to chance upon Karen alone in the kitchen when she came down for her usual late snack. We've talked and laughed for hours. I can tell the attraction is growing. You say this. Well, it is up to 74. It was 73 a second ago. So, maybe it is. Hoping I've read her correctly, I lean to whisper in her ear. Okay. We know love isn't a good idea. We tried that. Lewd's suggestion, she's not really experienced and bawdy. She's chaste. But she is intelligent, genius and learning. So let's go for poetry and learning. Alright. And Karen back to everybody. Bloody hell, Karen, what do you want from me? And turning our attention away from Karen for just a second, good news, I did find time in between trying to seduce Karen to actually have sex with my wife at some point. So, I've had a daughter, a legitimate daughter, hopefully. So, yeah, this here is the great-granddaughter of Meredith. So, as a result, I would like to call this child Meredith. And if we have a son, I will be naming that son Meredith. And there we go. You see, that's a sweet thing. Slightly tempered by all the random cheating and seduction that's going on at the same time. Now, what happened in my grand tournament in the end? So, this guy who is the... this guy who is the husband of my lover, who luckily and hopefully I'll be able to keep in the dark about that whole business. He came third, so as a result, yep, opinion goes up a little bit there. And as for my new... that's my new Chancellor, isn't it? Courtier? No. Who are you? You're Insult's husband. Right. Why are you here again? Aside from just, well, actually, you'll be one of my commanders, won't you? Yes, you'll be one of my many commanders. Great. Valiant performance. Not too surprising. You do have very high martial. And... Sofa. Sofa actually was able to come top. He truly deserves it. Please don't try and murder me, by the way. You know, one thing I probably should have actually paid attention to about Sofa is he does actually have claims on Mercia, Lancaster, Northumberland, and York. He could basically have just gone and tried to take hold of Mercia had I played as... I possibly should have played as Sofa. Right. I didn't realise he'd inherited such good flipping things from his mother when she passed on. Well, that's interesting. And the tournament is over and everybody likes everybody. Yay! Good. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we did that. Admittedly, we absolutely flipping despise each other. Sofa, yeah, I don't trust Sofa. Especially as Sofa has intrigue of 15. Don't trust him at all. Right, okay. So, once again, another festive outing. Let's go for the note this time. As last time it said, there we go. Okay. So, we've tried the love, and we've tried the poetry. Both of them didn't work. Alright? So, and also, my opinion of Karen is going down. Because she's... oh. Right. I don't like her because she's fat. Okay, well that's... You're a dick, Connor the Seducer. Right. Let's go for love again. Because we tried poetry and... bloody hell. Right. Virtue is strong in this one. Next time we'll go for poetry. Sooner or later, we are going to dice roll our way into her pants. And speak of the devil, Sofa wants to attack Lancaster. I'm going to be honest. Well, the whole duchy. Okay. I could do that. Except if I do that, hang on. If I do that, won't you become an independent... yeah, you'll actually become an independent duchy working for England, because the highest tier title you'll get out of this war will be the Duchy of Lancaster. So as a result of becoming the Duke of Lancaster, you'll make that your primary title, and the Duke of Lancaster will be reporting in to the King of England. So at that point I'll have damaged Mercia, but on top of that I'll also have basically given my rival and hated enemy a power base that he might actually use to attack me. So Sorry, no, that's not the right target for me, I'm afraid. Okay, a midnight snack again. Try the bloody love poetry one more time. Possibly this woman is just... Actually, you know what? No, hang on. Hang on, just very quickly. Send her a gift. There we go. Right, up to 100. I've literally capped out the... Don't hand her a pile of money before propositioning her. That's even worse. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay. Literally capped out relationship with her. It can't go over 100. Quote some love poetry at her. And I think it's just not going to happen. I think it's just not happening. I'm going to try confessing my love one more bloody time. After that point, we're just going to find someone else. Right, midnight snack again. She's going to start getting suspicious about this. Just try confessing your love and... Oh! Yes! 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 I got a Karen! Yes! Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, this is... Okay. Right, so just so you know. It's quite good. That's actually quite good. So, as you're probably aware, the original expression in Latin is, of course, Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. So it's been rearranged. That's quite a good joke, because the game doesn't actually translate it. You just have to notice that. So Veni has been moved to the end. So it now is, I saw, I conquered, I came. Well played, Crusader Kings 2. Well played. So, do I want to love her and leave her? Or do I want to fall in love with Karen? Now, Karen is right now, she's 27. She's a genius. I wouldn't mind having more than one child with her. Let our love grow! It's taken me bloody long enough. It's taken me a very bloody long time. Now, she's my lover, but what does that mean about Strong Lass? Is Strong Lass good? I can have multiple lovers. Okay. This is all fascinating right here. Also, at some point, I had sex with a maidservant, but that was apparently considered not worth mentioning. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just discovered that from beyond the grave, Maridud has just given me a gift. A gift I would like to think is his way of saying from 4 generations back, you are forgiven. So his great-granddaughter, just named in his honour, the King of France, is willing to betroth Meredith to this kid, who is actually the king's brother, not the king's son, but that there is 15 years of commitment-free non-aggression pact. Oh my goodness. Meredith, the relationship with... Oh, hello, what's going on? Okay, who are you? Alice Dunbar? Wait, what's your relationship to her? Right, she's actually from House Dunbar, which is up in Scotland somewhere. Right, but she's... Why are you even here? I'm not sure why you're here, but okay. I'll pay for your silence. That strikes me as eminently reasonable. And you've got a weak claim on the Kingdom of Scotland. How about we then immediately afterwards just... Okay. Interesting. We can actually try and imprison her. And that will actually... Oh. Using this option is viewed as tyrannical. The council would vote yes. Okay. I guess she hasn't technically done anything wrong. How about we just attempt to... Don't seduce her. Don't attempt to seduce her. Right. Plot to kill her. Let's just get her out of the way at this point. Lovely. In fact, wait. Hang on. Okay. If this guy is currently... Who's even... Oh. Oh! This guy! You're still alive! Right! This is the guy who was captured by Mercia attempting to actually lower the reputation of the wrong person. Now he's been... How long has he been in prison? Long enough to develop great pox, become a lunatic, suffer a severe illness, and stay in the dungeon. Blimey, you've been in there for a long time. Like, you must have been in there for, like, 10 years. Right, I can understand why you... Oh. Actually, you're fine with me because you think I'm hot. Alright. Top marks. Top marks. Beautiful. Right, well, you seem fine with me, so hopefully you won't blackmail me again. So everything will be just absolutely fine. Beautiful. There goes the money. And there we go. That's confirmation from the King of France. Those two are now together. Now, admittedly, France is suffering from a bit of a revolt problem, but then France never seems to be not suffering from a revolt problem. So let's just double check here. So Pierre the Just has approximately... Hang on, pause time here. He's got approximately 9,000 troops he can get onto the field. Meanwhile, the King of France has got... that might be slightly problematic. Right, we might want to do this sooner rather than later. How do you feel about alliance? The alliance with France is back on! Oh, yes. Oh, flipping yes. Yes, 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 yes. Right. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think we should call it a part there. But next time could be a big one. Because England has got a child on the throne. But a very talented child who could become an extremely dangerous opponent if he is allowed to come of age. I think it's time to make a move against England. We need to figure out how we're going to do it exactly. I've got a couple of claims I could try and make, potentially. I think I've got some weak claims on England. I could, I could just try and take, like, Powys or a little bit more of Wales. Or I could try and actually plant someone inside one of these territories. So, I've got this guy, but this guy has... He's actually got one child, Dunbar. And Dunbar's got a wife and a child as well. Yeah, the child Disappointment. So, that could potentially work. I might try and plant someone. I might need to have a little look-see around what's going on in each of the duchies and whether there are any claimants that might be willing to come to court. So, for example, yeah, right here, the Spy Master of Oxford could potentially be brought to court, married matrilineally, and then basically sent straight back over to take over Wessex. And then basically, yeah, just plant one of my own friends in Wessex. That could work very, very nicely indeed. Unless, of course, by any chance, there is a claimant for... Well, there is a claimant for England. He's 52 years old. Alright. He's mad and disease-ridden. And he's not actually Catholic. Right. Right, he's also wrathful, craven, deceitful, and badly scarred. Okay, this could be very of interest. Very much of interest right here. I could take that guy and basically put him as King of England. I'd probably be better off going for the Wessex plan and instead just planting my own dynasty in Wessex and then defending them just as I've defended Scotland. Speaking of Scotland, how are your children getting along? You've got... Oh, blimey. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. So, no risk whatsoever that any of your children are going to all die out. Because, wow, you have really been getting out the children. Well done, Queen Slow. You're lustful. And also slightly pox-ridden and a lunatic. What about this guy? He's not, but he's patient. Which, when you're dealing with a lustful, pox-ridden lunatic, I guess you'd have to be. How many of these children have... Oh. There might be a bit of a problem here, which is... some of these children do actually... Yeah, they've inherited the Great Pox. Which could be a bit of a problem. A lot of these children are actually dying, but... Alright, if just one of them can grow up and do well, and also you don't actually lose the war against Norway, this could go very, very well indeed. Right, next time, ladies and gentlemen, I might be about to pull France into a war with England. If there's one country that can probably be relied upon to kick England while they're down, it's gonna be France. That is coming up very, very soon indeed. And maybe Scotland can get involved. And maybe I'll try and figure out something with Scandinavia. I don't know. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd. And this has been Crusader Kings 2. Thank you very much. And goodbye. You know, I really hope we've agreed open borders with Japan, by the way. Otherwise, they have basically just invaded. I may have picked the wrong fight over... Yep. And my cities, of course, have got even more flipping high-tech, though mysteriously still completely dependent on, you know, an aqueduct. Now, I'm not saying your entire army is mostly already dead, but it kind of actually is.